Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome once again to another episode here on Life Signatures Radio. We are winding up. We've been talking about detachment in this series, about 6 or so episodes that have gone into this series. You gotta go back and start from where we started if you wanted to catch up. But we've been talking about detachment and why detachment is a powerful psychological tool for productivity. And we've done quite a bit on that. And today, I think we're going to wind up and talk about the very last thing that detachment is all about. If you are joining us for the very first time, this is always a daily show. Every single day, there is an episode going out. And every Wednesday of the week, there is a conversation on a particular topic or a particular theme for that particular month. So, for example, in the month of March, we are talking about branding, and we are talking about planning our lives, planning ourselves, and strategizing ourselves. Anyway, so let us just wind up this series. Stay tuned.
Welcome to the Life Signatures podcast with Lawrence Namale. Lawrence is a life coach, author, and keynote speaker who loves to tackle different topics on purpose, productivity, and resilience. His mission in life is to awaken all your boundless possibilities available in you. Life Signatures podcast is dedicated to bring to reality every single person who knows that deep down in their gut, there's got to be more to life than this. And now, here is your host, Lawrence Namale.
I'm sure you've learned a thing or two as you've listened to the previous episodes when we've been talking about detachment. We gave a definition for detachment. And then we've been talking about detachment being about two major things. In the past episode yesterday, we say that detachment is always going to be about control. Now, control, not that you should have it, but that you should let go. That's the angle from which I am approaching detachment. Learning to let go. Being mature enough in yourself to trust that you've done everything that there is to do with whatever it is that you have. And the rest of the outcome does not depend on you. It depends on other people, other players. Could even be that it depends on the change of weather or the ecosystems themselves. It could be that it depends on God. It could be that it depends on a decision maker somewhere else. But you're not going to put your life on a standstill, wishing that you'll be in control of all those things. You are not in control of all those things. So you let go. You release them. But you've done your part. The moment you release these things, you are free. You are at liberty to be creative and to do other things. You're also carefree in such a way that you are okay with whatever outcome is going to bring. And it's not that when the outcome is negative, you're going to celebrate, you're going to rejoice. So, of course, you're going to be downtrodden for a minute and so on. But it's okay. You are already prepared and you're already, in the know that there's a binary of options. It might be yes, it might be no. And sometimes people normally say that God answers prayers in 3 ways. He says yes or no or wait. So whatever the case, and for me, by the way, one of the things about that is the waiting part. I think the yes and the no are the easiest parts. Because if someone told you no, that's okay. You already know the answer, and now you know what you can be able to put on the table and how you can be able to craft yourself and move on. When someone says yes, of course, you rejoice and so on. But the waiting, I'll never forget. There's a time I was in a relationship and I wanted to know what my fate will be with that relationship. and I was told that I'm going to wait. As much as I loved the person and I really wanted the person to be in my life, there was absolutely no way that I was going to allow myself to be in a situation where I am not in control of the outcome, and the waiting doesn't necessarily tell me that I'm going to get a favorable answer. Why would I wait and the answer could be a no? If the no is a possibility right now, tell it to me now. Because I want to move on, I want to deal with things. But that's not detachment that I'm talking about. The detachment I'm talking about is that you are certain that there is going to be either the outcome of the yes or the outcome of the no, and you're okay with that particular outcome. So it's about control. That's the first major thing about detachment. It is about letting go of the things that you have no control over and being content with whatever outcome that is going to come out of it. That's the first thing. We learned about that yesterday, and I don't want to belabor it, and I just feel like I should belabor it anyway, but I don't want to belabor it. Of course, the second thing that I'm going to talk about, it is about trust. That's what I'm going to wind up with. Detachment is about trust. Let me explain this to you so that you can understand. And to be honest with you, those who cannot trust have not learned to practice detachment. Let that sink in for a minute. If you cannot trust, have you ever seen a guy who is married and is not trusting his spouse, always following her wherever she goes, always wanting her to be in the house, always asking who is that you are talking to, checking her phones and so on? I know of bizarre incidences where people undress their wives, and they want to check and see if someone penetrated them. I mean, Lord, that is freaky. It's a freakish, if you are in that particular situation, you're actually sick. And the cure for you, I don't know what that cure will be, but it will be in the form of finally coming to the place of detachment and also coming to the place of trust. The person who has not learned to detach cannot be a person who can trust. But detachment is about trust. You see, trust is all about detachment, and trust is putting your control over something else or someone else for them to do what you want done in the first place. It is putting your control over something or someone for them. It's putting them over there, and they're the ones who are going to have the control. It is to have confidence that they will come through. You are trusting them. The control is not on you. You are voluntarily given the control to them, knowing that you cannot be in control of everything at all times. So what do? You detach yourself and you trust them. You entrust the outcome to them. You entrust them to do their part, just like you did yours. That's what detachment is also about. How in the world would we live and be successful without trust? We build amazing technologies in medicine, but without trust that this medicine is going to make me better. How many patients have died? And the opposite has also been true. I think you've heard about the placebo effect, where they tell a patient, this one has been tried and it has been proven to be the most effective dosage ever. You take this dosage, within days you are as fit as fiddle. And it's not medicine, it's a placebo. It's just something that is... So the power of trust heals that particular patient. So how in the world will we live without being trustworthy or without having this element of trusting others. I mean, no patient will be willing to go under the knife to remove a tumor, for instance, if they cannot trust. If they cannot detach themselves and trust, and they put their trust in someone else. So let's talk about trust and detachment even as we come to a close of these episodes and this series by extension. Over a period of time, trust will be tested over and over again until it is trusted well enough to deliver. Even then, we are still aware that someone we trust can spring a surprise. We are all human. And that's why we have to keep practicing detachment and the benefit of doubt. To be in detachment means you are learning to trust the process. You are learning to trust the people involved in the process. So you pay for your security and get detached from the process of being secure. Instead of spending all night in a lockout, you detach yourself from the process and trust that the security company that you contracted is going to do what you want done so that you can concentrate on other important things at night. I think you get my drift. So you're not freakish. You are trusting, and you put your detachment as an entrustment to someone else who has the control. So we learn to move on in life and to be productive when we learn to be detached. It is not a gift. It is not a one-off. It is something we practice, probably even daily. And we shall look at some of those things. If you look at in your life, you shall look at some things and you will see that if I was detached at that moment in time, I wouldn't have gone through that emotional turmoil. At the end of the day, it came to pass what I was afraid of. So what was the use of that emotional, psychological hell and torture that I was subjecting myself to by being attached? So ladies and gentlemen, we come to the close of this series where we've been talking about detachment and why it is a powerful psychological tool for productivity. I hope it makes sense. If it does, share it with as many people in your circles as possible. Talk about this, mastermind with other people, and let me know what you think in the comments. Until tomorrow when we start a new series, bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to Life Signatures Radio. If you enjoyed today's show, subscribe to Life Signatures Radio on iTunes, Stitcher, or visit our website at lifesignatures.libsyn.com. Life Signatures Radio, fresh, clean, and inspiring.